always with the podcast, if you'd like to introduce yourself and just what you do.
So I am Colin Horton. I am a valuer by trade, and I'm very lucky to co-own a firm called Projects and Co. And I also run something called Pro Party, which is arguably one of the biggest networking groups in London for property professionals. And other than that, I post every single day on LinkedIn and am really annoying. But yeah, that is myself, mate.
I love it. I love it. So your journey into the world of property construction. Just take us back. Did you have a feel for it at school, or did you just fall into it?
So I always liked Funds Under the Hammer, mate. My attendance at school was like 80% because I was just bunking off to watch. I wasn't doing like naughty stuff. I was literally just watching like Funds Under the Hammer in the morning and playing Football Manager. But I wasn't very academic at school, and so I was just a bit of a wallflower, really. Like no one would have known if I wasn't there. I wasn't bullied. I wasn't really popular. I was just kind of average kind of kid. Got a job in the call centre. That's what everyone does in Southend. There's quite a few call centres around here, and I was just happy earning the grand for every year that I was old. Didn't really have any ambition per se. Wasn't from much. I didn't expect anything of my own little life. And then a couple of mates, they also done a gap year, and they went down to Portsmouth, and it's a place called Gunwharf Quays, and they're like, "Oh mate, we're going to go uni here. It's got a sick car park." And I was like, "What?" It's like, "It's got a really good car park. We're just going to go uni here." And I was like, "All right, mate." And that was that. And then didn't even look at the uni. Just signed up, had the UCAS points. Don't need much to get in Portsmouth. And done property development, design and marketing. Missed probably 80% of my lectures because I was too hungover. And came out of uni. Didn't know really what I wanted to do. Managed to get a job in a property company, which, looking back on it, was well dodgy. Like they used to sell below market value portfolios that they didn't actually have access to, and has to take a finder's fee all the time and never complete. Anyway, my old boss got arrested, and I don't know what happened to him. And I was like, I need to get a freaking job. So I managed to find a job as an asset manager for this freehold ground rent investment firm, and there's one of the largest ones in the country, based in Southend. Got a job there. My interview for that was literally the billionaire guy who owns it. He was just sitting on his desk eating some peanuts. I walk in there, and he goes, "What's your address?" And I was like, and I just completely forgot where I live. And I was like, 3 Victoria Road, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "I like you, hi." And that was it, mate. Literally, and that was it. And then 8 years later, I rose to the top of head of asset management. We were working with the likes of like Blackstone and stuff. And so I knew I wanted to go and set up on my own, but I wasn't quite ready. So I made the bold step of leaving. I got a job up in London. I wasn't worth anywhere near what I thought I was worth. I was earning good money at this job.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to be earning like 800 grand, whatever. Couldn't even get a job at 40 grand, mate. I couldn't even get a job at Purple Bridge, to fuck's sake. Like, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a job in East London, managed to get an all right salary, heading up valuation team. I hated it. I was like, I want to make this money for myself. I was already built up my own networking groups. I was doing all right. And then I got a couple of investors and set up a small valuation firm. And about the same time, the opportunity to come up, set a buildings fan firm came up as well, which is what we're doing now, which is Project. And then we just moved everything into Project. And then 6 years later, we've got 25 staff, probably turnover about 2.5, 3 mil or so, give or take, this year. So
Yeah.
That's my story, mate. That's how I got to where I am.
It's good. It's, I think in a lot of it is just, great determination, pushing down the road that you think that you wanted to take. And it's good to see. And I think sometimes what's nice to see is people always kind of think, oh, I've got to go to school, and it's always this kind of structured route. And construction and property just isn't like that. You kind of just got to make your own way, and you can be, ultimately as successful as you want. Just talk to us then about, your obviously involvement with, because you said in the beginning days you're involved with like Homes Under the Hammer, and you kind of enjoyed that side of stuff, but you have made a couple of TV appearances from what I can see. Was that just a case of putting your foot in and seeing, I want to push myself, or was that,
Yeah, I mean, do you know what, mate? I'm inherently like insecure myself, like just by nature. I grew up like I was just a little porky kid with like I looked like bloody red rum, my teeth were all over the gaff, like didn't have like we never had any nice clothes, always charity shop stuff. So I always had this quite low like I don't know perception of myself.
Yeah.
And as I grew up, I just kind of grew into myself, started going to the gym, got tattoos and all that jazz, and I enjoyed making people laugh, and I enjoyed kind of doing content and stuff, and I just, I started to, as you get more compliments and stuff, you do get a bit more confident. And then I just got approached one day via Instagram. So, like, we're doing this new TV show. It's going to be like The Apprentice. And I was like, oh, I don't know whether to do it or not. Like, I always fancied the idea of doing telly. I knew from a marketing perspective, it could be gold dust,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And 6 rounds of interviews later, I literally just landed in Vegas and they told me I was going to be on the show. That night I got wheeled home in a wheelchair because I was so drunk. And that was the start of it. And then we had to wait about a year for it to start filming. So for a year, you don't really know what's going to be happening, like with your life. And then for 12 weeks, it was 12-hour days. It was incredibly hard, man. Like
Yeah.
you see every flaw that you've got, like when you do this stuff, every little quirk you've got in your kind of mannerisms you start doubting yourself. I was trying to run two businesses at the same time. I was doing these 12-hour days, and it's contrived as you like, mate. Like we'll have a conversation now. But oh, Dan's a top bloke. You go and do this thing called a Vox, and then what they'll do is they never tell you what to say, but they'll keep framing the question. So by the end of it, you're like, oh, Dan's a right twat. Like that's how they change, like dictate that kind of stuff. Mate, honestly,
I'll just take that one piece.
yeah, mate. Honestly, it was so surreal. Luckily, when this show finally did come out, a year after I filmed it, so 2 years this whole thing had taken. I've grown up a lot. I'd had to change and evolve and stuff. They edited me quite well. The show did shite. It was prime time, Channel 4, still on 4OD now on selling super houses. But they edited me well, and I've got quite like I like people like Nick Handy on the show saying like, I'm fantastic. He'd hire me tomorrow, which is great for me and my
Yeah.
marketing side of stuff. But it didn't give me the catalyst that I was hoping for it to be. But I definitely got my money's worth out of it in terms of, just content and being able to like reference it. And it's a great talking point. And if you see it on your CV, God forbid I ever have to get a job again, it's always going to open some doors for you because I think people are always quite fascinated by that world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that was good. And then I've been winning the Homes Under Hammer this year, so I finally lived my dream. So
You live the dream.
it's
I
out in
love
a couple of
that.
weeks. It's out in a couple of weeks actually. So yeah, excited for that, mate. So yeah, if
Yeah.
someone's got an opportunity, they should go for it, 100%.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right, and it does intrigue. I know we've never met, but I see just from the stuff that you've posted. We work in the same field. We're building surveyors. You're property. We do a lot of work with high rise resi, and it's all this kind of crossover. And I'm really intrigued in your world of what you're up to, and hence the reason we wanted to speak. But the TV stuff's brilliant, and do you know what I love is how you kind of you don't take it so seriously. You do throw it into some of your posts sometimes, like "Here's me," and this is, it's dead funny. So with that, then that world, you obviously then started to build. You've spoke a little bit about personal branding and bigging, doing your own thing. Did that come off the back of all that then? And have you started to focus a lot more on the personal branding and the social media platforms over recent years?
Yeah. So the personal brand stuff started for me probably 2000 and what are we now, 2008, about 2016. What happened was we hired Savills for an instruction at my old job when I was head of asset management. And I'll be honest, mate, I didn't go London much. I was very office bound, and I'd never really met a posh person before. Like we don't meet posh people around here. And anyway, I went down to the Savills office. Lovely guys, lovely blokes. I mean, these guys. When I say silver spoon, I mean like these guys were silver spoon. Like the incarnation. If you put in like ChatGPT, like give me a posh person, that's what you kind of got out. And for some reason, I felt so inferior. I was so nervous, mate, about talking to these guys. I couldn't talk. At the time, I was top of my game. Like I was multi award winning. I was fucking the bollocks. and I just felt inferior. And it was that just triggered something in me. So the next week or so, I set up something called Young Leasehold Professionals, which was a networking group just for people like me who were a bit shy and wanted to kind of grow a little network. I never wanted to walk into a room and feel inferior again, and that's where that started. And then started growing
Yeah.
that through LinkedIn, and I just started posting like relatively like authentic stuff. And at the time, LinkedIn was dry, proper dry. Like all people posted was really boring stuff, and I was like, well, there's a bit of a gap here. And in my world, in surveying, leasehold enfranchisement, like the average age was like 70. And then like, who's this geezer turning up with like tattoos and doesn't pronounce his T's and all this jazz. And then that grew, and then we started doing networking events called like Young Leasehold Professionals, which evolved to Leasehold Social. And then all the time I was just doing LinkedIn, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And LinkedIn, if people don't use it, they're absolutely mental because it's free. I don't understand why people don't use it. Like it's just
Yeah.
beyond me. And that was it. And then the TV stuff was for me was just a masterstroke of just get my personal brand out there, get people to know who I am. I'm never going to be the best surveyor, but I will be the loudest and the one that people think of when
Yeah.
they think of a surveyor. And that's kind of what I was trying to be.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It has worked, and now we've used it and we've evolved. And ultimately, I do want to help. Even like I do it now, but I probably should monetize it to be fair. But I like helping people with it. Like if I can help them grow their brand and just kind of give them some directions and stuff. Like I enjoy that. Like that's what I enjoy. And I'm beyond this confident bravado. I'm not at all. So I
Yeah,
just had to
it does.
fucking
You
work on
do
it.
do honestly. It does. It's great, and I see it, and it is. It's brilliant what you do, and you can almost see in a way like you're evolving with it, aren't you? That there's another arm growing off the back of this, and you're right. LinkedIn is incredible. Like you can literally go to the top of a business, right to the very top, with no paywall. You can literally direct message the
Yeah.
CEO of any company you want with no paywall. That will come.
Yep. Yep.
What you're then going to find is the people that have not used LinkedIn are then going to be stuck, and they're going to be leaning on people with the big following to go, can you help me access these people? And yeah, it will come.
100%, mate.
You know, how can you just email anybody? Like, you get the premium. So I do see what you've done with it. You've done it very well. And to be honest, the fact that I reached out to you today, or, to get you on here, is because of all that's been going on with LinkedIn. So,
Yeah,
I'm not
100%, mate. 100%.
coming on my podcast, but it all
But
falls.
we'd never meet otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what's amazing about some of my best friends and sector I've met through LinkedIn. Like, and that's
Yeah,
how you do. You bang on. Like, you can't just DM people. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts, and there's an art to how you do that approach and making it personable and not just doing the bog standard like, oh hi John, hi John, go.
yeah,
Like, there's an art to it, and LinkedIn flirting is massive. Like, not like a sexual way, like
yeah,
commenting, liking on all their stuff. I do it all the time, and then what I also do is I see when my rivals comment on other people's posts, and I'm like, oh, I could do a messaging, and I just go and message him. So that's like
yeah,
it's it's a great work, but there's enough work for everyone. That's the thing. There's so much work. We don't have to hate each other. We can all just cheer each other on and be cheerleaders for each other. There's always going to be some insecure twats that won't like what you do or what I do, and just let them do that. Because you do get a bit of hate
yeah.
every now and again, but it's what it is.
You said that in one of your posts, didn't you, about sharing? Absolutely. The amount of people I've interviewed on here that are, are building surveyors in our same postcode, but everyone's like, "Why are you
Um,
interviewing them?" I'm like, because there's too many properties, for our one single firm. But so on the back of all that, I saw what you did. It was last year. I picked up the the pro party that you decided to do, which was very clever. I even saw the advert that you put together for it. I commented on that. I thought it was quite funny when you were going pro party and all that. It was so good. So where did that kind of pick up from? You were like, right, it just really just like brainstorming and thinking, I need to add a bit more value into the market. What can I do?
yeah, do you know what, mate? I've been to so many events. They're so boring. Like same shit in it. Like some canapes no one wants. Like some like lukewarm bloody Bucks fizz. And I was like, this is crap. Like, and everyone's in a suit and it's really fuddy duddy and it's not enjoyable. And the only things I look forward to in the sector are kind of awards nights, really. But it's like there was like can be quite stressful if you're up for one or whatever. And I was like, there's a bit of a gap here. And at the same, the idea happened. My show was due to come out, so I was like, what a great way to kind of get me out there. You know, the show's coming out, parties coming out, wonderful. And it was due. The first one was due in, I think it was August the 19th. Show was coming out on August the 22nd. So there's me thinking I'm about to be rock star and all this jazz, and got bloody ice sculpture of myself at the first one, which was brilliant.
Yeah, that's
I
I
mean,
love
that was like one of my finest moments, mate. I got so much abuse, but I think everyone loved it. Like, it was satire. I
that.
hope people saw that it was satire. But
Yeah.
and then that went well, mate. We had about 350 people on the boat and sold out. And then we done another one in April last year where we had 5 the band, which was great.
Yeah.
That was proper good, and there were like 400 or so people there. Paid event. Like, these people are paying like 150 quid a ticket, mate. Like, it was cool, man. But really stressful. And then we've got one coming up in December, the Pro party, where we've got, at the moment, we've got Boys Life, which is one of Westlife and one of Boys Zone. We've got So Solid Crew, don't ask. Why we've got So Solid Crew, but we do. We're trying to appeal to all markets. And then we've got some of the industry kind of well-known people from a marketing spin. They're lovely blokes, great DJs, but also they've got massive followings on LinkedIn. So they're DJing as well. So it's all just a marketing spin from my end. And then for me, it grows my brand, gets me out there. If I can help people out as well, like meet new contacts, wonderful. And it's fuck it, enjoy it. Life's too short, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you won't remember, but after that, I dropped you a message saying, whenever you want to come up north, mate, just whenever you want to bring Pro Party up north, let me know. Because you create such a good concept that you could actually branch that out 100%. So with this then, because like, you know, from what I see on the outside, like you've got a business at heart. You know, the business is part of property. You know, you do a lot of work within that side of it, but there's a big part of you which is doing exciting things, building things. You know, and what's the, you know, do you have a future plan, or are you kind of just rolling with it and seeing and, you know, trying things and seeing what it takes you?
Yeah, planning to build a company to sell it, either to sell it to externals or sell it to into staff. Probably won't be for a good few years yet, but it's hard, professional services. And my heart's not really in surveying. You know, you know, I like property and stuff. So built a company up. We want to build it to sell. That's what the game plan is. And then ultimately, mate, when you're I'm a salesman by trade. Like, I'm a surveyor, but I'm lucky enough that I do sales. So
Yeah.
your risk profile is you don't mind, like, it's like crossing the road and shutting your eyes. You don't really care because you back yourself to go. If you're working sales, you can pretty much go and start up anything.
Absolutely.
So over the next couple of years, I think the focus will be building a business to get to a point where we are actively having people inquire about it. I want to grow my personal brand stuff so I can help other people grow their personal brands and also monetize it. I think LinkedIn, there'll be an opportunity for so-called influencers to start monetizing in the future. I don't think it's something that's really been picked up upon by professional services yet, where people, you don't need to have hundreds of thousands of followers. You could have 3,000 really good engaged followers and you have a value. And I think that will pick up. And then to continue property investment on the side. And that's what we're looking at doing. Like, that's what I do
Yeah.
anyway. But try and do that. Something where I don't have to rely on people and I can just rely on myself. You know, I know I always have to rely on tradesmen. But the only thing about professional sales, professional services is when you do sell or win work, you are still relying on your team to deliver the service that you've sold. And
Yes.
that's where my main stress comes from a lot of time.
Yeah, I feel like I literally work on the business development and sales side for a building surveying company. So, you know, all my work is to drive new sales into the business. Yet it's then left into the devices of everybody else to get it right. You know, and I'm sat
Yep.
thinking, you know, are you going to, you know, put so much effort in getting it? You know, let's not drop it now. So I totally get it. It was with this kind of episode. To be fair, it was one of them where I could have sat down with you and gone, right, should we talk about the boring stuff like property? And I didn't want to. I'm not getting you on for 25 minutes. I really was keen on the personal brand building, what we see on LinkedIn, because weirdly, you're right. That's what I've connected with. I haven't connected with you because you work in property at all. I've actually connected with you because of how you are. And I remember when you were in MIPIM, you know, and it was like, I've not met you. I'll drop you a beat and I'm on a beach somewhere. I thought, of course he is, yeah. He'll be with all, you know, posh glasses up, beach. But it was just that start of something. And, you know, and you're involved in something. I'm majorly involved in creating network groups, business development. And, you know, it's nice just to kind of get your opinion on it. And you're absolutely right. You know, like sometimes when you don't see kind of the person behind it. And that's why video is super important, because they get to meet you and you know who you are. And it's weird you coming on, because it feels like I met you for the first time. I feel like I've known you for a while, even though
Oh,
we've never.
I feel like I've known you for ages, mate. It's fine. No, you've got a lovely temperament, like a nice energy about you, mate. I like energy. I think the world's so cutthroat, mate, out there. Like, if I can just work with guys like myself, similar ages, similar journeys, and like help each other out, like, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? What is all the point of all this? Oh, you know, making loads of money if it's at the cost of someone else, or you know, you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sleeping well at night because you've got it ill got, and that's not how I want to do my life. I want everyone to succeed, and I think if I can be on part of people's journeys, mate, I'll be in their network and help them, then that's great. You
yeah,
know, that's all I really want. I'm a good little
yeah.
Catholic boy at heart, mate. Don't go to church anymore, but
But still got the ethics. Yeah, definitely. Um, Look, to be
yeah,
honest,
yeah, still just about, mate, just about.
just about, yeah, absolutely. Wait till the pro party's finished, mate, and then you can say that. When is that, by the way? Can we give it any advertisement? Are tickets going on sale soon, or what's the plan with the party?
Yeah, so it's tickets are on sale. Proparty.uk. They are they will probably sell out, so do kind of get on them. We've got 2 months, yeah. So it's 2 months today to the Pro Party. It's 6 o'clock at the Steelyard in EC4 London, so it's just by the Thames, right in smack bang in the centre of London. It's a great spot. It's you get free drink, or drinks are included with the ticket, and there's food. So it will be a really good night. And I don't want it to be one night and people say, "Oh, I should have gone to that. I just didn't go." Like, I know it's a bit. I know obviously you guys are up north, but like there's a
Yeah,
lot of people do come from up north. It's a cool little gang, and like I just hope that we give everyone a good night. And if we don't, then obviously slag us off. If it's a rubbish night, then obviously do that. But you know, there's a lot of stress that goes into that. As you all know, doing networking events and stuff, there's a lot of stress that goes into organising that amount. And I think people are like last year, after I was having Nando's with Five backstage, like really surreal. Like, I mean, I grew up loving Five, like it was nuts. And then I didn't enjoy the night at all. I was running around like a headless chicken, making sure everyone was alright. And I left about half 10. The event went on till 1. I got home and
yeah,
I had a little cry to the missus. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I don't know. I just feel like I want to cry." And I don't cry. I'm not a crier. Like, I maybe cry out once a year or something. And it's really overwhelming. It's a really overwhelming thing to do. And I think it's one of the best things you can do if you're trying to grow a business is to host events. It's an incredible thing to do. It's an
yeah,
absolute no-brainer for anyone. I posted about that today on LinkedIn. It's an absolute
yeah.
no-brainer to do stuff like
It's a
that.
no-brainer. You do publicise very well, and to be fair, last year I was actually jumped on to get a ticket. It is a long way for us guys all the way up here, and I was like, it's going to cost me more in a train ticket than a bloody ticket. So I was like,
Yeah.
but I love what you're doing, mate. And to be honest, like you say, if you're linking, you've got connections all over the place, and you know, and that no doubt slips into your mind, doesn't it? It's like, how can you grow your, you know, you build your network up into here. We're very connected up into Newcastle and everything, and yeah, mate, you never know. One day, like I say, Pro Party becomes its, you
Oh,
know,
actually,
event.
I'd
Oh,
love, you know
what's
what, mate? I'd love to do a northern one. If you ever want to get involved, mate, I would love to do a northern one. If you want to help
mate?
me do
One in
it, I
Middle
would
Leeds.
absolutely love that, mate.
One in Middle Leeds would be absolutely golden. We'd say Manchester, but no one likes going to Manchester unless you're from Manchester. Commuting in is absolutely murder, and it rains all the time. So for everyone that's from Manchester, I'm sorry, but yeah, Leeds, mate, it's an absolute amazing place to hold events. And yeah, you now
I've never
know,
been Leeds.
just planting that seed for you. Do you know what? If I want to do it in North, I'll reach out to Dan, because you know we'll get together, 100%.
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it.
Colin, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
No worries, guys.